This week on Full Circle Florida, Iran or insurance, as Governor DeSantis calls lawmakers back to Tallahassee for another special session. I'm asking Florida CFO how much of this will be about Governor DeSantis running for president and how much of it is about actually helping Florida homeowners with the rising insurance costs. Plus, House of Pain. Will Congress finally get its act together in time before the next government shutdown? T-minus 3 weeks. Rick Klein joins us from Capitol Hill and insight into who is the new speaker, Mike Johnson, and the rage on Florida roads.
There's road rage incidents every day.
I look into the last 7 years of data. Is road rage cooling off in Florida, or is it getting hotter behind the wheel? And the Iran factor. How will the United States military respond to the increasing threat from Tehran? My conversation with General Frank McKenzie. Welcome everyone here to Full Circle Florida. Have you seen your insurance bill lately? Do you even still have insurance? When will it finally get better for Florida homeowners? And what are your elected leaders and those in charge actually doing to help you? Here's my interview earlier this week with Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis. All right, let's get some answers right now from the person who's in charge of overseeing insurance agencies in the Sunshine State, Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis, joining us now. How much of this upcoming special session is going to be about Iran, and how much of it is going to be about fixing the insurance crisis in Florida?
Well, thank you for having me and turning a spotlight on how the state of Florida is pushing forward solutions for the insurance challenges our citizens are facing. Look, I think a large part of it, at least the financial impact of it, is where the legislature is going to attack the backlog of people waiting to deal with the My Safe Florida Homes solution. Those that have participated in the My Safe Florida Homes program, their premiums have gone down on the average of $1,000. So that's significant money, and at the same time, hardening the home that you live in with the assistance of the state of Florida. It's a win-win all the way around.
But are the politics on this upcoming session, are they going to be focused on insurance, or is it going to be about this resolution with Iran that critics say doesn't really mean anything, it's more for show? Or, are they going to come out of this with some real solutions to help homeowners?
Oh, well, the program has been a huge success so far. We have had overwhelming demand in applications, but here's the reality of it. There's 18,000 people that have made application to have access. A number have already gotten their money. So this is potentially the third installment payment that the legislature's pushed forward. They did $115 million 2 years ago, $100 million last year, and they're going to address with another significant amount. Now, I met with Senate leadership this week. They're committed to addressing more funding for this. But the state's also in a unique place where we're having historical revenues. So this is one of the best ways the state of Florida provides essentially a tax break back to the citizens of the state of Florida with the assistance of hardening their homes, which will have a long-term effect on lowering their insurance rates.
All right, I got just a few seconds left. Bottom line, in your estimation, because they said it was going to take about 1.5 years to get some real relief for homeowners. How much left on the clock will homeowners see real relief? Are we looking at another year for prices across the board, across the state to come down? How much longer will homeowners see rates go up or have trouble getting insurance?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be consistent. 1.5 years is a reasonable number to ask for. 4 new companies have come into the state of Florida. Those 4 new companies just don't grow overnight, but that's pretty historic. We've never had 4 new companies come up at the same time. In addition, the carriers that want to come to the state of Florida are waiting until after November, the new carriers, because they want to get outside of hurricane season.
All right, Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis, thank you for your time and insight. Appreciate it. All right, let's bring in our political analyst, Dr. Susan MacManus, back here with us this week. Okay, so how much will politics rule over this special session? Or do you think lawmakers realize they really do need to get something done on insurance?
Well, they certainly realize they've got to do something on insurance, not just property insurance, but auto insurance as well. But they've got a lot planned. They're going to do some things in terms of giving more money to people for the damages that they experienced during the last hurricane, particularly the agricultural industry in North Florida. They're going to do some things for disabled students. They're going to do some things for protecting Jewish schools. There's a lot of things on the agenda, not just that.
Well, and the sort of press release, if you will, this came under the headline of we're going to pass a resolution on Iran. What's the real purpose of that? Is that an effort to beef up the governor's foreign policy chops while he's on the campaign trail running for president? I mean, no one really thinks that Florida is doing business with Iran. So is that just for show, or is there something, what's the point of doing that?
Well, actually, there's been a law in place for some time that prohibits state and local agencies from doing business with businesses that have over $1 million in contracts with the Iranian government. But there are also prohibitions against several other terrorist states on the same kind of line. This time out, they're looking at expanding the inability, or they're saying to the state agencies that you can't invest in state money or whatever in any of these kinds of terrorist organizations.
All right. Well, meanwhile, signs of life in D.C. They waited 21 days or wasted everyone's time for 21 days fighting over a speaker. Now they elect a guy who's being called MAGA Mike. Mike Johnson from Louisiana is the new Speaker of the House. The Democrats could have saved Kevin McCarthy. They could have saved him, but now they're going to have to deal with a guy who's far more right than Kevin McCarthy. This Mike Johnson apparently tried to criminalize homosexuality, essentially, had some interesting theories about the election results. Has been called an election denier. Did this backfire in the Democrats' face? They could have saved McCarthy. Now they're going to have to deal with somebody who's far more extreme in his view of politics.
Well, short time, they're making hay of it. They're out, spreading this branding and casting the new speaker as an ultra-right person, and that's a short-term approach. Long term, they realize that no matter what happens in the House, if it can't go through the Democratic-controlled Senate, it's never going to become law. So they're taking advantage of it right now for fundraising and going out on the campaign trail. They think his cultural stances are what will really help Democrats.
Well, meanwhile, the American people just want them to do their jobs and get back to work, and the clock is ticking on that next deadline. Susan MacManus, thank you for being here with us again this week. Still to come on Full Circle Florida, who is House Speaker Mike Johnson? Rick Klein joins me from Capitol Hill. Plus, from the halls of power to the highway of anger, my original reporting this week on road rage in the land of sunshine. Next.